The love for all living creatures was the most noble attribute of man. Man selects only for his own good, nature only for that of the being which she tends. We stop looking for monsters under our beds when we realize that they were inside us. What a book a devil's chaplain might write on the clumsy, wasteful, blundering, low, and horribly cruel work of nature. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge. Intelligence is based on how efficient species became at doing the things they need to survive. Lusting is the most peculiar and most human of all expressions. I love fools' experiments. I am always making them. The highest possible stage in moral cultures when we recognize that we ought to control our thoughts. Animals, whom we have made our slaves, we do not like to consider our. Scientific man ought to have no wishes, no affections, mere heart of stone. Man tends to increase at a greater rate than his means of subsistence. One general law leading to the advancement of all organic beings, namely, multiply, vary, let the strongest live and weakest die. If the misery of our poor be caused not by the laws of nature, but by our institutions, great is our sin. The survival or preservation, a certain favored word in the struggle for existence, is natural selection. Is those who know little, and not those who know much, who so positively assert that this or that problem will never be solved by science. Man tends to increase at a greater rate than his means of subsistence. To kill an error is as good a service as, and sometimes even better than, the establishing of new truth or facts. Moral being is one who is capable of reflecting on his past actions and their motives, of approving of some and disapproving of others, is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives, and that is the most adaptable to change. Besides love and sympathy, animals exhibit qualities connected with the social instinct which in us would be called moral. Great is the power of steady misrepresentation. The mystery of the beginning of all things is insoluble by us, and therefore one must be content to remain an agnostic. Man is descended from a hairy-tailed quadruped, probably arboreal in its habits. If the misery of the poor be caused not by the laws of nature, but by our institutions, great is our sin. I am turned into a sort of machine for observing facts and grinding out conclusions. How paramount the future is to the present when one is surrounded by children. It is a cursed evil to any man to become as absorbed in any subject as I am in mine. Man's friendships are one of the best measures of his worth. I see no good reasons why the views given in this volume should shock the religious views of anyone.